Is it possible for a mediocre gamer to beat Resident Evil 1 through 8 in 24 hours? A few insane souls have attempted this challenge, mostly speedrunners, and Corey with 2 Rs. We all know how that went. Unlike Corey, I will be trying to beat all of these games in 24 hours without cheating. Like him, I am not that good at these games. It takes me an average of 3 hours to complete most of them, which, if you do the math, my odds of beating them in 24 hours is not that great. Even worse, some of these games I have only completed all the way through once. Because, well, I don't like them. If I don't beat the games in 24 hours, I'll have to play every game that I did not finish on the hardest difficulty. Unfortunately for me, Resident Evil 1 is in my top 3 worst games in the series. I have only completed this game once, and that was over 1 year ago. I'm aiming for a sub 3 hour. Yeah, that's not happening. 5 minutes in, I got the golden arrow, placed it on the gravestone, and got the key to the mansion. For the first part of the game, you need to find 4 different masks that are scattered throughout the mansion. I pick up the lighter and the dog whistle, and use the whistle to kill this dog and get its collar. This dog was Neo, dodging all of my bullets, and after getting treated like a toy, I get the collar with the fake key inside. It's time for my highlight reel. Pretty cool, right? Those were literally my only dodges in the entire playthrough. I was getting grabbed like crazy all game, but luckily I had plenty of defensive items to stop those zombies. I used the fake key to get the real one, and soon after I get the best weapon in this game. The grenade launcher. Without this bad boy, nothing would have been possible. After killing the evil plants with some chemical, I finally get the first mask, 20 minutes into the playthrough. So far, everything has been great, but the more I play, the more mistakes I make, some pretty fucking big ones, and after every mistake I make, the more mentally unstable I get, which makes me make more mistakes, and the cycle continues forever until I go insane and never finish the first game in the challenge. Let's just keep playing. Jill needs to recover some musical notes so that she can play the piano. After her Emmy-worthy performance, I got the golden emblem. With the emblem, we can solve this very high cortisol puzzle, which gives us another key. The first quote-unquote boss fight of this game is against this snake dude. I just run to the back, grab the mask, and then leave. I did almost get strangled to death inside this dark, creepy room where I would have never been found, but I made it out alive. Another easy puzzle later, which gave us a mask and a lot of walking around, we get the last mask. 40 minutes into the game, no deaths, no restarts. Everything was smooth sailing. All of these masks need to be placed in the creepy area inside the basement, which unleashes this evil guy that needs to die. In his grave, there is this weird object that goes on a wall. Resident Evil puzzles are so bizarre. Who is doing all of this shit inside their own house? After getting mauled by a dog and using the object, I go to Liz's house, one of the recurring enemies in this game. Here I get a crank that haunts me in my nightmares. Jill got tired, so she took a nap, only to wake up to her sleep paralysis demon. We leave her house with our crank. Almost an hour into the game, everything is going great. We meet this nice tarantula dude and run around this apartment building grabbing a lot of keys as usual. But then, well, the start of my descent into madness happened. We go into this shark-infested area and need to complete a fairly simple puzzle. However, if you fail the puzzle, you die. There is a time limit and a little bit of pressure, and to be honest, I was going off of muscle memory for this one, not really reading the text, and because I'm not the most experienced at this game, I choked the puzzle, dying. This happened at hour 1 and 8 minutes. It took me around 8 minutes to get back to the puzzle and solve it. 8 minutes may not seem like a lot. Thankfully, I had recently saved, but it does a lot to your morale, and this was only the first time I died. I will die more, each time having to replay more of the game. I came back the wrong way because I was already stressing out, and that never goes well. I get assaulted by a plant and get my revenge. The hunters have spawned, these fat dudes that I hate more than anything. I was starting to get a bit careless. You see, I don't really enjoy this game too much, so I'm trying to finish it as fast as I can, and I will suffer consequences for that. It took me another 5 minutes to go back from that random place to this hunter, which I decided to just kill. I do another not really fun puzzle, and my game crashes. Great. I had to redo another 5 minutes of playing time. So far, if I hadn't died or my game hadn't crashed, I would have saved around 20 minutes of time, which in this challenge is quite a lot of time. I killed a snake dude now for real and do yet another puzzle. This one took me 5 minutes, by the way, which has to be a world record for the longest time anyone has ever taken to solve this. Okay, 2 hours and 30 minutes, and we're headed into the catacombs. I won't go over details in too much depth, but let's just say I'm an idiot that ran around for like 20 minutes looking for another crank that I did not need because this green one wasn't working for me. I tried again and the green one did work, so yeah, there's that. In the catacombs, I instantly died to a hunter. We fight Lisa, which consists of pushing some rocks and somehow that makes her kill herself, and take Barry's Magnum, a gun that one-shots every enemy in the game. So that means we can one-shot the final boss. Like you may have noticed, I am a fucking idiot, so obviously I used all of my Magnum bullets before the boss fight and died to him. It took me 15 minutes to get back to him and finish him off, ending the first game in 3 hours, 49 minutes, and 13 seconds. I wasted around 30 minutes just because I couldn't stay alive. On the easiest difficulty, by the way. Great. That is not the sub 3 hour I needed to comfortably finish this challenge. It would be if I was using playing time, but we're obviously not doing that. Luckily for me, I really like the next game. I don't know what happened to the resolution of this footage. It gets fixed on Resident Evil 4. After the disaster that was Resident Evil 1, Jill needed a break. Though it won't be much of one because this game is by far my best game in the series. In order to redeem myself, I need to finish this game in under an hour and a half. Don't worry, Leon will be here in Resident Evil 4. Again, I am playing on PC, but after this game, everything else will be on PlayStation, which makes some of these games, particularly the ones that I hate the most, significantly harder. This is the game I have played the most. I mean, look at this speedrunning technique. So there shouldn't be many issues. But well, there will be some issues because I suck. For the first part of this game, we need to get 3 medallions, similar to the 4 masks in Resident Evil 1. I get the first medallion in like 5 minutes. There are a lot of key items to get, but this game is really easy for me because I know exactly where everything is, down to the last bullet. On other games, I just have a general idea of where the items are, and sometimes my memory fails me. But this game is ingrained in my brain, and so in 15 minutes, I had all 3 medallions. The first boss fight is super easy on PC, just a few knife slashes and my guy was shrieking. It was not a long one, and because I'm a god gamer, it was pretty uneventful. So short recap. Got Mr. X out of his helicopter, got assaulted by 3 individuals in a corridor, got the keycard, helped Sherry escape the orphanage, that poor girl, played some chess, and boom, we escaped. I finished the game in under 2 hours, now having 19 hours left to complete the last 6 games. Resident Evil 2 was wonderful. But there was a lot of pressure riding on Resident Evil 3, since it is the shortest game on this challenge. If I was going to make up some lost time, it would be here. Again, we're playing in 320p, but fret not, that will be fixed very soon. I was having a really hard time dodging. That will get better later on, but I probably had to use every single item this game had to offer. This was also my first game on PlayStation, so it took me a second to get used to the controllers. This game has its few key items and objectives, but nothing like RE2 or the first one. It's more like smaller contained areas. Like this area where you have to turn on a generator and not a whole mansion or police station. So this game is a lot shorter and easier to handle. I reconnected the railway system pretty easily and headed down into the sewers. Jill's section is pretty easy. Not that many zombies, and a really good dodging technique. Carlos, on the other hand, can be fighting 100 zombies at the same time. But hey, at least he doesn't need to fight Nemesis. I got attacked by this huge head, and now we need to play as Carlos. The first section as this guy is in the RPD, my home, so I know my way around it. The only issue is that there's maybe 40,000 zombies in here. This caused me to die a few times because for some reason someone stole all of the green herbs and there were no heals here. Anyways, back to Jill, we have to fight off Nemesis yet again. This phase was really hard to kill for me. He literally ate all of my bullets and I could not figure out how to make him stop running around. That fight left Jill on her deathbed and now we play as Carlos one more time. I have to fight against Hunters now, my number one public enemy after Resident Evil 1, and they are really hard to kill. But it's no biggie, we return to Jill with her cure in no time. We have to defend Jill against the biggest horde of zombies my PlayStation could handle, and we're back to playing Jill for the last part of the game. The time is looking awesome. I wanted to finish below the 7-hour mark, and it looks like that will happen. We do a lot of important star stuff, and then fight Nemesis 2 last times. The first time, Carlos helps us torture him with some electricity, and the second time, we learn how to harness the electricity ourselves and kill him with it. And that is Resident Evil 3. 6 hours and 40 minutes. 3 games done, 5 left to go. It is still possible. Just one small issue. Out of those 5 games, there are 2, Resident Evil 5 and 6, that I have only played through once, and not recently, so it is going to be tough. Next up, we need to play the longest game in the franchise. It's Leon time. Like I said, this is the longest game in the challenge, since I'm only doing one scenario of 6, or this would be impossible, so I need to try to get this done as fast as possible. While it's the longest, I have played it a few times, the last time I played it over a year ago, but I think the aim here is to finish in around 3 hours and 30 minutes. I was missing bullets like crazy at the start. I was convinced my aim assist was off or something, but no, I am just bad. Thankfully, I was saved by the bell. The village is one of the best parts in the entire series, so I was having a really good time at the start. Some of the later parts, however, really made me question my sanity. For the most part, I was just running from everyone to be as fast as possible, but on some sections I just could not. I've played RE4 a lot of times, but I had not played it in over a year, so while most of the game I knew what to do, I got lost here and there, like in this section. I obviously had to free this dog because while I'm on a hurry, I'm not evil. I defeated the lake monster, which took me way too long, and now we also have to deal with these annoying fuckers with tentacles on their head. 30 minutes in, we need to get the 2 bloody heads, and obviously I went the completely wrong way. At least I got 300 pesetas out of it. But alas, I got both heads, and also a new weapon, and off we go to find Ashley. On the way there, we have to fight this giant, but my good deeds paid off, and we got some help from the dog I saved. I'm pretty sure this makes the fight even longer, but you know what, I'm glad I did it. We finally make it to the church where Miss Ashley is waiting for us. My cortisol levels increased by a lot now that Ashley is with us, and once again I got lost. It took me, again, way too long to find my way out, considering I was 1 feet away from the exit, and then I had to fight a million villagers in a tiny cabin. We meet these 2 old ladies that are trying to make a career in extreme carpentry, and they give us a key to escape. This next boss fight really pissed me off. I was taking every hit ever and missing every bullet ever, but at least I did not die. 1 hour into this game, we made it to the castle. The thing about this game is that every section is worse than the previous one. The village is goated, the castle is good, the mines are alright, the island sucks. Pair that with the fact that I was getting really tired, it's not a great combination. On top of that, I had to deal with Ashley. The castle is really overwhelming. There are a lot of enemies attacking you all at the same time, and a lot of new ones as well. The issue is not all of the enemies, they can be killed with a grenade. The issue is Ashley. Thankfully, we got separated for a bit, so I got a break from her. We encountered the spiders for the first time, my least favorite enemy in the game by a lot. Obviously, there's another giant we need to get rid of. Not the first, won't be the last. This labyrinth part is one of my least favorite parts in the game because Ashley gets kidnapped. I try to leave her behind, but apparently I'm not allowed to do that. I escaped with Ashley 2 hours into this challenge, and still nowhere near the end of the castle. The amount of enemies in this area of the game is crazy, and unlike the village, we can't really run past them because Miss Ashley is going to get taken away. Talking about Ashley, we now have to play as her. This section is pretty chill and a nice change of pace from whatever that was. The bug room is here and it sucks. Nothing more to say about this. I mentioned how the spiders were my least favorite enemy. I lied. The bugs are way worse. As I continued playing through the next part, it dawned on me just how long this game is. I kept thinking of what came next, and the list was just excruciatingly long. I killed the cryo dude, went to the mines with Louis, who is a lot more competent than Ashley, killed some giants with him, rode a minecart. We practically became best friends. An evil man killed him, of course. 3 hours in, we were almost out of the castle, just one boss fight left. I spent my hard-earned money on a rocket launcher to make this a little bit easier. Well, a lot easier. Out of the castle and into the island we go. The goal was to finish this before hour 10, but that is clearly not happening. The island is the worst part of the game, and having it at the end of the game, where my brain is the most tired, was not a good experience. The last 2 bosses I killed with rocket launchers that I bought with my hard-earned money, and out of this island we go. There's nothing to say about the island other than it took me way too long. I truly hate this part. We finished the game in around 4 hours, right before the 11-hour mark. Halfway through the games, and almost halfway through the time, it is looking like I might actually complete this challenge. However, the next 2 games are my 2 least favorite games in the whole challenge. This is gonna be tough. Resident Evil 5 is a co-op game, meaning that during this playthrough, I am going to have to be playing with an AI who is a complete idiot. I had a lot of issues during this playthrough, and made a very rash decision about halfway through. The first issue I faced was against this big monster. For some reason, there is no button to tell Sheva, the AI, to stay put. She just follows you everywhere. So I trapped her in this room a few times. No issue, I just made her pull the lever the next time and that made her stay. She kept dying a few times, which was really upsetting because I was having a really hard time with this game since I had not played it in a while, and on top of that, I had to babysit her. The real problem started once I reached this area where we had to find some slates to put on a door for a puzzle. Finding the slates themselves was not hard. The part that came after, though, was a nightmare. I have played a lot of bad games and have rage quitted a lot in my gaming career, but I have not felt like this in a really long time. We had to turn a crank and walk past this bridge, but the enemies that spawned here were really hard to kill, and a lot of them. I tried to turn the bridge so that Sheva could walk up it, but I kept getting hit and Sheva took forever to get to the bridge. Then I tried swapping the roles and almost made it across, but Sheva kept getting hit and dropping me into oblivion. Seriously, this was incredibly frustrating. I decided to just kill everyone, which took forever. I was stuck here for, I kid you not, 30 minutes. I tried to keep playing this game, but I was starting to go crazy, so at hour 13, I just paused the game, closed the application, and opened Resident Evil 7. I know what you're thinking. Is this even allowed? Yes, it is. There are no rules in this challenge other than complete the games in 24 hours. So I'm giving myself a break from the horror that is Resident Evil 5 and just skipping 6 and moving on to a way better game. I'm really tired at this point, okay? In Resident Evil 7, we play as Ethan, who needs to save his wife, Mia, from a creepy family. Mia is acting all weird and gets pretty aggressive, so we kill her. That didn't work, we lose an arm, and then kill her again. What a joy to not be playing Resident Evil 5. Then we meet the family. We have to fight against all of them to free Mia. First, we fight Jack for the first time. It won't be the last. And for this first part, we have to find 3 dog heads around the house. I played this game recently, so I remember where everything is. With all 3 heads, we go outdoors to a den where Zoe, the normal family member, calls us to tell us that we have to go fight the mom. The mom has her own house, filled with bugs. Resident Evil 7 is by far the scariest game on this franchise, and even after so many replays, it still gives me the creeps. We fight the mom and grab 1 ingredient for the serum that will heal Mia and Zoe. Then we go to Lucas, the brother, to find the other ingredient. He gives us a few trials, all pretty easy, and just like that we get the second ingredient. We make 2 serums, one for Zoe and one for Mia. But after fighting Jack, we inject him with 1 so that he heals. Now, we need to choose between saving Zoe or Mia, and I obviously picked Mia. If you didn't pick Mia, I don't trust you. We get on a boat with Mia, heading to the final part of the game. The mines/the boat. This is the worst part of the game, because like most Resident Evil games, this one also has a terrible part. I won't go into detail about this part because, well, it sucks, so let's just go to the end. We defeat Evelyn, and the game ends, finishing at 15 hours, 36 minutes. With technically 3 games to go. It's time to go back to 5. Who am I kidding? I was really fucking tired by this point and decided to just play Resident Evil 8. since I love this game so much. Mia and Ethan now have a child. The plot of this game is to get 4 flasks that contain parts of Rose, our child, and somehow put her back together. The first part of this game, the Dimitrescu Castle, is in the top 3 best Resident Evil sections. I mean, look at this view. In order to get the first flask, we need to get 4 masks, which will require us to kill all 3 daughters that live in the castle. I swear, every Resident Evil game is just about looking for 3 or 4 items to put somewhere. We kill the daughters, get the masks, and after that, need to fight Dimitrescu herself. For the next flask, we need to go to Beneviento's house, a house owned by a doll. This part is not my favorite because it's just one big puzzle and I hate that baby. For the third flask, we need to kill this fish guy. 17 hours and 30 minutes into this game, I was really tired. I could not look at another Resident Evil game and I was headed to the worst part of this game, the factory. This part sucks so bad, I don't even want to talk about it. We fight against Heinsberg, this big final boss guy, and now we have to play as Chris Redfield for a bit. I love this part so much because he just has a shit ton of ammo and really cool weapons. After that, I bought some good weapons to fight against Mother Miranda, the final boss fight. This was the first time since Resident Evil 5 that I almost died, but thankfully I managed to survive. The time was 18 hours and 33 minutes. We have 2 games left, Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6. However, I was exhausted, and so I did not finish them. Didn't even try. So my punishment for that will be having to complete those 2 games, but on their hardest difficulty. An even bigger nightmare for me personally, since I can't even play RE5 on the easier mode. I'll table this for after Wolverine releases, but once it does, I'll be hopping straight into Resident Evil 5 and 6. What a nightmare. On a final note, I will not be posting raw footage, which I know gives the possibility that I cheated, but I just don't have enough internet to upload 18 hours worth of footage. I mostly played on PlayStation, which I don't think you can really cheat on, but trust me, if I was going to cheat, I would have made myself actually complete the challenge. I can upload like one of the games if anyone has any doubts on any of them, but for the most part, there won't be any footage.